Hey y'all, what's good? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Today we are talking about Sarah Boone, and I want you guys to know that she is now on her ninth attorney. Um, and I've been reading a lot of forums, a lot of comments, articles, things like that. And there is a misconception, number one, that she's on attorney eight. It's actually number 9, and also there is a misconception that Sarah has, fired attorneys. So I wanna let y'all know quickly, Sarah Boone is not in any position where she can hire nor fire any attorneys, okay? So we're gonna go into all of that and see how much time we have left to maybe watch a video or 2. So, if you are unfamiliar with who Sarah Boone is, I'll give you a brief synopsis, if you will. Sarah Boone is a resident of Florida. She was married to Brian Boone, where they share one son, and she has a history of child neglect, domestic v alcoholism, um, and being a cheater. And so one of the people that she cheated on her ex-husband with was George or Jorge Torres. Now, it has not been confirmed how you pronounce his name, so I'm just going to call him George respectfully. Her ex-husband Brian learned of the affair and basically just called it quits with her. He bought the house that they shared out from under her, so to speak, and just gave her a lump sum for what he felt the house was worth, and she moved on to her own apartment with George. George and Sarah had been in a relationship for about 2 years, and the entire relationship was full of just domestic violence, domestic disturbances. They would get drunk every day. Neither one of them worked. Sarah was a part-time parent to the son that she shares with Brian. There have been multiple arrests. Um, One was of Sarah Boone, and 3 or 4 of them were with George. And each time the first time they refused to press charges against one another. The police didn't know who was the primary aggressor of the domestic violence situation, and they both bonded out. The prosecution just nolle pros the cases, and so they were basically just thrown out. After that, there were about 3 or 4 other situations where Sarah Boone and George got into altercations, both verbal and physical, in which Sarah went ahead and called the police. The police showed up. Sarah refused to fill out a medical report, but she was still under the influence and very upset with George, and so she wanted him arrested. Each time he was arrested, and by the time she slept off the alcohol and came to her senses, I guess, she, went to bail him out. The last time that George was arrested prior to the incident in question, it was for a violation of his bail. Now, per the judge and his bail conditions, he was not to have any type of, um, communications with Sarah. He was not supposed to live with her. He did provide a different address. However, he was, like I said, still living with Sarah. Um, and he was supposed to go to alcohol and drug rehabilitation, all right? So that's just to give you an idea of the situation that we have here. Now, in February 2020, Sarah and George, we are still unclear as to what exactly took place. Sarah says that George went to the local Publix and purchased cigarettes and wine, and she claims that they did puzzles and painted, and she said that she would oftentimes suggest that for George so that they wouldn't get into fights. And she claims that they thought it would be a good idea to play hide and seek. Sarah went upstairs to the bedroom and hid in the shower. George never went to look for her. Okay. She left the shower, and then somebody got the idea for him to climb into the suitcase. She zipped him up into the suitcase, and then she sat on the couch and basically berated him, made fun of him. He was begging for his life, pleading for his life. She laughed at him, and then we are unsure as to what happened then. She claims that she went upstairs thinking that he had a full and fair opportunity to get out of the suitcase, but the video doesn't show that, okay? And so she is adamant that she didn't do it on purpose. And to be honest with you, I really don't believe that she intended to kill him. I do believe that she wanted to torture him as long as she could. After that, I really don't know what to believe. I don't know if she was drunk to the point where she did just go upstairs and pass out. I don't know if she just didn't care and just wanted him to just figure it out on his own. I really don't know. That's questionable. But what I do know is that the next day, when she learned that he never made it upstairs and she found him in that suitcase, she did not call 911 immediately. Instead, she called her husband, Brian, her ex husband, Brian, to come to the house. Brian did come to the house. However, he did not go inside of the house, and he told her that she wanted to call 911 right away. And so now we're here. We are here. And she has um, basically bullied almost every attorney that she's had. Okay, that's the way that I look at it because again, she is not in a position where she can fire anybody. These are not private attorneys. These are attorneys that have been appointed by the state to represent her. Okay, and she also has to understand that a lot of times with defense attorneys, they have a huge caseload and they don't just have one client or whatever. And so there's um I don't wanna call it an honor system, but I talked about this before with, public defenders, a lot of times they might have like 3 cases. Let's just say they have 3 cases, and they're gonna want look at the one that's the most serious and work their way down. Now, this is a murder case, but it's involuntary manslaughter. So if they have like a capital murder case, that one's gonna get tried first, and then you just work your way down the list. Also, there are no rules that state the exact amount of times that a lawyer has to come and visit you or do a video visit with you or answer the phone or things of that nature. And so we're going to get into that as well. But let me see who's here before I jump into this. Hey, Bama. Good to see you. Hey, Sadie. I haven't seen you in a little bit. I hope you're doing well. All right, y'all. So let's just jump right into it. Okay. So the very first attorney, and I do have my notes, so you're gonna hear shuffling in the background, but the very first attorney that Sarah Boone had was a public defender that was assigned to her on February 26, 2020. Her name is Lydia Labar. I think that's how you pronounce it. She has been a member of the Florida Bar since 2006. Okay. Now, the reason why a lot of people do not know about this lawyer is because she never had an opportunity to meet with Sarah to go over the details of the case, the facts of the case, anything like that. Because Sarah worked out something with her ex-husband Brian, they were able to get in contact with someone to represent her as a private attorney. However, he worked pro bono. This person's name is Mauricio. So once Lydia, attorney number one, learned of Mauricio, she filed a motion to withdraw. So the first attorney's name was Lydia. Okay. Attorney number two is Mauricio, and he has his own law firm in Florida. He has been a member of the Florida Bar since 2002. Okay. And he is a criminal defense attorney. He does try or handle high profile cases. So most recently he represented Diedrich Williams. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he was convicted of the murder of Triple X Tentacion. He is or was, I'm sorry, a popular rapper, and he was murdered and robbed. Okay, so that case took place sometime last year. He also represented Sigfredo Garcia, and you may recognize that name from the Dan Marco or Markel murder trial. Okay, so this guy is well known in Florida. He seems to be a really good attorney. He specializes in criminal defense, family law, and personal injury. So he met with Sarah and, he filled out all the necessary paperwork. He filed a motion to let the judge know of his notice of appearance. And he requested on behalf of Sarah a trial by jury. Sarah Boone waived her right to a speedy trial on November the 2nd of 2020. And basically, Mauricio did a lot of the work. Okay. So he is the one that came up with the battered women's defense for her. He petition the court for monies to hire experts for her. He met with her regularly. He petitioned the judge or the court for monies to have people fly in to meet with him, and also for money for him to fly to PA as well as Florida and another state so he could meet with potential witnesses. Um, and so he spent 2 years on her case. However, due to irreconcilable differences, he filed a motion to withdraw April 18th of 2020. He stated in his motion that it was almost impossible to represent her effectively, and we are never going to know what exactly happened because that'll be a breach of attorney client privilege. Okay, so usually with irreconcilable differences between an attorney and a client, could be somewhere along the lines of maybe the defendant was just being uncooperative, or they couldn't come to an agreement for defense strategy, or you know, just things of that nature. Okay, just to give you an example. So all of the letters started with Sarah April 26th of 2020, approximately 8 days after Mauricio filed a motion to withdraw. Okay. So I'm going to read that letter real quick, and I will share the screen so you guys can see it. Hold on one second because I gotta remember which one it is. Hold on. And I'm sorry for sniffing. My allergies are a little off the hook. Let's see. Is this one it? Nope. Okay. So let me make it a little bigger. So she wrote this on April 20th, 2022 to Judge Wayne Wooten. She added her case number and it's titled Motion to Withdraw and Continuance. So Mauricio, when he filed his motion to withdraw, he did file a continuance so that the new lawyer would have an opportunity, a fair opportunity to come in, look over all of the work that Mauricio completed, and then they can make a decision if they want to use that evidence, make a demand for discovery, look over that discovery, hire new experts, so on and so forth. So Sarah writes, Honorable Judge Wooten, thank you foremost and in advance for your invaluable time and concern in this very unexpected and incredibly confusing matter. I am writing in regards to the requested withdrawal, most importantly, of my attorney, Mauricio, and my team filed on April 18th, 2022, along with a continuance. Forgive me if this is the wrong approach in contacting you directly. So something tells me that Sarah already knows that she should not be contacting him. So let me let you guys know why this is wrong. So anytime a defendant writes a letter to a judge, or let's just say a defense attorney or a prosecuting attorney writes a letter to the judge, and they don't involve the other parties, this is called ex parte communication, which means that it's a one-sided communication because she is trying to have communications directly with the judge without letting her attorney know, and then her attorney will will file a motion for a status hearing in which they can discuss the matter at hand. Sarah's wrong because she has a public defender, and if she needs to file a grievance, then she would have to get in contact with the public defender's office and file a grievance and let them know why she feels like either her lawyer is not being fair, he's not contacting her enough, he's not visiting her enough, he's not listening with to her, he's not working with her. She asked to be privy to the discovery in her case, and she hasn't been. Things like that, she would contact the public defender's office. However, she never did that. She contacted the judge directly, and the judge can't even read any of this. All he can do is acknowledge that he received it. The clerk will then stamp it and make it a part of the record. And so, I think over time this just pissed her off because she felt like, I can just go over my attorney's head and do what I need to do to try to get some understanding, and let him know, what's not being done and what I feel should be done. So in a way, I feel like, she knew what she was doing was wrong. But anyway, so she says, forgive me if this is the wrong approach for contacting you directly, but I wanted you to be fully aware of the magnitude of my shock and disappointment in the betrayal of Mr. Padilla, that's Mauricio, as I have not in any way by anyone been provided any explanation for the aforementioned withdrawal, etc. So I don't know what she wants the judge to do about whatever shock that she has, but he can't do anything about that, especially since this was a private attorney, okay? I unfortunately had to learn of these documents by my former husband while calling to speak with my son. After making a commitment to me as my attorney over the past 2 years and 2 months ongoing to fully and sufficiently represent me, also being made to believe we were a team, I am completely blindsided. Nonetheless, in how this was and is being handled by a professional, I do not understand. And she has professional in quotation marks. With that being said, Your Honor, I am graciously requesting to be included and present, please, at this hearing on Friday, April 29th, 2022 at 9:30 a.m. so I am able to learn more and also explain the ongoing legitimate hindrances I have been facing, along with my inability to, I guess this is supposed to be amply, progress in the preparation for my upcoming trial and future. In the future, these concerns are what spurred these requests by my attorney in the first place. So another thing that Sarah doesn't understand is that every hearing she's not going to be a part of. Sometimes they just have a quick status hearing just to see, where each party is as far as the case is concerned. The prosecution has already been ready and they said that they only needed 3 days to try her case. However, since these attorneys have been leaving, each attorney has to have time to catch up with what's going on, okay? And so basically every time attorney is granted his request to withdraw, then there has to be another plea put in and like I said, all of the discovery that the other lawyer had previously, the new attorneys have to go over that, okay? And they have to see if the defense strategy that the previous attorney had will work. If not, they gotta come up with a new one. They have to see if, the same witnesses are available to maybe interview again or testify or things like that. They have to see if maybe there are other expert witnesses that they can potentially hire or, if the ones that were already interviewed, are they still available, to testify on behalf of Sarah? She does not understand that. Okay. So every time she sends these letters to the judge, every time she goes against what her attorney says and they decide that they don't want to be a part of the case anymore, it does nothing but causes a delay. And it has absolutely everything to do with her. She says it is undoubtedly of the utmost importance to me to fight for my truth and in which I thought my attorney was doing also. Now, to me, what Sarah's truth is, and we all know by now, is that she didn't do it intentionally, and which she probably didn't. I don't know. I'm not here to say the trial hasn't started yet. But you cannot, I'll say that part for later. But basically, what I'm getting at is she wants her lawyers to do what she says, and if they don't, then she's pissed. So it says, "Thank you beyond measure for your very much needed assistance and understanding. I am flying blind. I don't know the process, procedure, or protocol for any of this since I have never been in this current situation I am in. I am eager to meet with you to further explain any and all questions or concerns whomever may have. Please know with great emphasis, I just want to move forward, especially for the length of time already being incarcerated and remedy this entire predicament, however that might may be, in the best possible manner, having my best interest and security above all else. Again, I thank you profusely. I await your response with further direction in order to be in attendance and proceed forward." Now, the judge, like I said, handed this over to the clerk. They stamped it, basically saying that they received it, and now it gets transferred back to the attorney. And that pissed her off because you cannot meet with this judge personally. You meet with your attorney. Okay. That's the end of that. So that's lawyer number two. So again, we got Lydia, who never met with um Sarah, right? Attorney number two is Mauricio. He was on her case for 2 years and something happened where he cut ties with her. So now we are on lawyer number three. Let me catch up with the comments a little bit. Hey, Jenny. Let's see what Jenny's saying. "I am a recovered alcoholic. Everything about her makes me cringe. I remember." Oh, Jenny, I'm glad you're doing so much better now. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you, Bama. Okay, y'all. So now let's go to lawyer number three. Lawyer number three filed a motion to withdraw May the 4th of 2020. And they cited irreconcilable differences. And you want to know what the irreconcilable differences were, y'all? Somehow, some way, this lawyer was appointed from Mauricio's law firm. Now, remember, Mauricio was lawyer number two. So that would be a conflict of interest. And so this lawyer had to file a motion to withdraw. They can't represent her. Now, from my understanding, based off the research that I did, after two public defenders, the attorneys are appointed from a list called Regional Conflict Counsel, which is comprised of private attorneys, right? So that's where we're getting these private attorneys, Mauricio and Mauricio's law firm. Okay. So these are attorneys that work in the area and they volunteer their time pro bono if the public defender's office is unable to represent a defendant. So this could be for a variety of reasons. And probably what's going on is either they are just backlogged with cases due to COVID, or you may not have a sufficient amount of public defenders who are suitable to represent Sarah, given that this is a murder trial. So it could be, like I said, a variety of reasons, but those two are probably why. Okay. So that's why they pulled from Mauricio's law firm. But again, he already represented her for 2 years. And so now lawyer number three has to file a motion to withdraw. So that's three lawyers. The fourth lawyer was Robert Wesley. He filed a motion to withdraw on June the 6th of 2022. The reason why he filed a motion to withdraw was because he had represented George in that domestic violence case, the one that I told you guys about at the beginning of the lie. So he cannot represent Sarah because he already represented George. So that's four lawyers. We are now on lawyer number five. Lawyer number five filed for a motion to withdraw on June the 10th, y'all, 2022. His name was David Verrett. He filed a motion to withdraw due to conflict of interest because a lawyer that is going to potentially testify for this current trial, this number five lawyer represented this witness before. So I hope I didn't lose anybody. So David Verrett was attorney number five. He can't represent Sarah because he previously represented a potential witness for this case. Okay. So now we get to lawyer number six. People don't know about lawyer number six because lawyer number six only met with Sarah briefly before another judge was appointed. So lawyer number six name was Mark Consalo. He filed a motion to withdraw due to an unspecified conflict, and we will never know what it is due to attorney-client privilege. Hey, y'all. I need some water. Hold on. Hey, Shonda. Good to see you. Okay. So now we get to lawyer number seven, Frank Bankowitz. Now we all know Frank Bankowitz, and I feel bad for him because I know the times that I saw him during those status hearings. This man was using a assistive device to get around the courtroom. He seemed very tired, overwhelmed, and at the time that he was appointed to represent Sarah, he was working on a capital murder charge. So I never understood why they appointed him to work another murder charge, especially since Sarah had already been in jail for 2 years at this time. But hey, I don't know how that works in Florida. But anyway, Frank Bankowitz worked on her case for a couple of months until Sarah started sending all kinds of letters. She wrote a 5-page letter to the judge December 5th of 2022. And we're going to read that one in 1 second. Okay, here we go. So she wrote this one. Is this? Nope, that ain't it. Gosh, I keep clicking the same one. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Hold on. Try this one. Okay. So she wrote this December 5th. All right. And it's called Summary of Progress. And she puts this in quotation marks. Number one, since appointed by court, Frank J. Bankowitz, and she has attorney number six, but it's attorney number seven. He was appointed July 11th of 2022. She has 21 weeks, 147 days and counting. Number two, since last spoke with Frank J. Bankowitz, she last spoke with him August the 22nd of 2022, which was 15 weeks and 105 days and counting. Number three, since pre-trial conference, no response from attorney or court. October 25th, 2022, 6 weeks, 42 days, and counting. Since my last letter to judge regarding MIA attorney and case, November 3rd, 2022, 4 weeks, 32 days, and counting. Total hours of time represented by Frank J. Bankowitz, 3,528 and counting. Total hours of time spent with with client Sarah Boone, 2. All right, here we go. Where's my attorney? Where are you, Judge Wooten? I understand the holiday mode, in quotation marks. Everyone is in as we inmates sit and wait for it to pass. But before we come to the end of yet another year, almost 3 for me in OCCD, I guess that's Orange County Correctional Department or something. It would be respectable of the court to please advise the status and location of my attorney foremost and also provide any real progress of my case, which is difficult to do, and further without an attorney. Nonetheless, after being appointed so many, I thought hopefully the level of dysfunction would be lessened. Unfortunately, to date, I am sadly mistaken and feel I've been severely misled. Even more unfortunate seems to be the lack of representation from any part of my case other than myself. Look at the numbers. In the meantime, and in preparation for the upcoming status hearing on December 20th at 10:45 a.m., which I just received notice for, thank you for the inclusion. I am in the process of writing to our governor regarding the mismanagement of my case and the multiple added obstacles and deterrents I am experiencing, trying to avoid any further time consuming hindrances or setbacks going forward. Some of the major legitimate concerns of mine are the violations of my constitutional rights, the degree of neglect, and the nonchalant approach by everyone in my case to substantially progress, and the illegal, non permissive release and distribution by the Orange County Sheriff's Department of crucial, confidential case files, videos, photographs, documents, etc. Ooh, pertinent to my case, which I have not even seen or even know about. Everyone knows more than I do about my case. As a result, it is impossible to choose a jury that will be impartial, fair, and uninfluenced by all of the mutated, exaggerated, hyped sensationalism. This being a significant reason I requested a change of venue previously. At this point, it will make no difference. There's nowhere I am not known. The premature, unfair judgment by everyone has wrongfully and inappropriately already been made. I haven't seen my discovery or know where my attorney is. My sixth attorney is actually her seventh. Not only am I, the other party in my case, still in the dark with everything, I am blind and in the dark. This is wrong, unfair, especially for a still proud citizen of the United States of America, and unacceptable. There is more to everything, much more, in which I've been patient to an extreme to explain and interpret and educate what now seems to be the whole world. I am hopeful the government will be able to untangle the chaos and mistreatment. No one else seems to be available or willing to abide by the protocol of our justice system and rightfully, eagerly apply themselves. I'm hoping still these aforementioned topics can be further discussed at the hearing on the 20th, and in which I am bringing to everyone's attention prior. I have not heard from my court appointed attorney to date. I am Oh, I'm sorry. So I am unaware what else may be on the docket. It's time to finally move forward and in all the right ways. Happy holidays. Lord have mercy. Then she goes on. Now she's gonna that part was to the judge. Now she wants to talk to Mr. Bankowitz specifically. However, she CC'd the judge on this. Mr. Bankowitz, I am also sending a direct copy to you in case the court and or judge does not, therefore giving no reason of any unsurety of my ongoing concerns regarding having no communication from you in any manner in almost 4 months. I believe the court and or judge would have sent copies to you of all my letters to them. But since I have been unsuccessful in receiving a response or update by their side also, I am taking it upon myself to make sure everyone is aware that I am still sitting here waiting on you. Now, I will say I do agree with Sarah in regards to her lawyer not visiting her in 4 months. However, like I said, Mr. Bankowitz was representing someone in a capital murder trial. And Sarah just took the wrong approach here. She should have reached out to the public defender's office and just simply inquired, I've been sitting here. I want to have communications with my attorney. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do so. I've called and have been unable to reach him. I've written letters to him. He has not responded. I haven't seen him. Something along those lines. All of this extra wording is just so unnecessary and condescending, and, I'm more than positive had she reached out to the public defender's office and just let them know what was going on, they could have looked into it and probably reassigned, um, him and just, gotten another attorney for her that maybe did not have such a complex, case going on. But it's all in your approach, and she's just very rude, very selfish, not really understanding what goes on, not willing to be understanding of what goes on. Um, and so, again, the judge can't do anything. He can't talk to her directly. He can't read and respond to her letters. All he can do is forward it to the attorney. There are proper avenues that you have to take to get things done, and this is so inappropriate. She goes on to say, please respond. I am looking forward to seeing you at the hearing, if not before then, with very much overdue and anticipated progress. Thank you, Sarah Boone. The last page is just her mailing address if anybody is interested in communications with her. He did have back surgery, and I do believe, Bama, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he have COVID as well? I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that. YouTube is very strict on what we can and can't say. Um, and like I said, everybody's seen Mr. Bankowitz. He doesn't look to be in the best health. He looks like he's of age. He uses an assistive device to get around the courtroom, and so it probably was a lot, on him or whatever. He's talking about a murder trial here. And of course, every defendant feels as if, they're innocent or whatever, but when you go against things that I have planned or defense strategy that I came up with and you're just, giving me a hard time, what are you expecting from me? And I'm not saying use that to not go and visit her and keep in, communications with her. But again, you're dealing with someone who is just very, very aggressive and thinks she knows everything and wants everything her way. Um, and so I'm sure he just grew frustrated with her. So he did file a motion to withdraw on December 19th, 2022, and it was one day prior to the status hearing. So unfortunately, the judge did deny it with was it without prejudice? So that gave him the opportunity to file another in the future. If he couldn't work out something with Sarah. So Sarah went on like this rampage, and I'm not gonna read all of those letters. I probably just put them in my members where I dissect those, but she went on a rampage sending letters, letter after letter after letter after letter. Every time the letter was increasingly aggressive and to the point where Mr. Bankowitz just could not take it anymore. Okay. And so um he filed another motion to withdraw, and I think you guys remember that when he, stood before the judge and just let him know, she's basically talking down to me, she's challenging my intelligence, and basically, I don't feel that I'm suitable for her or whatever, and so finally, the judge granted his motion, and so now we, move on to lawyer number 8. Lawyer number 8 was Winston Edward Hobson, okay? And he seemed like a pretty nice guy or what have you. He went in right away. He asked for a continuance and that was granted. He basically petitioned the court for some more money to get in some more expert witnesses on her behalf. He was working, okay? They had another status hearing in which, they asked for another continuance, so the trial would be in May. Seems to be getting along. However, here comes Sarah again, okay? Sarah writes another letter to the judge. So let's read that one real quick. She wrote this one January 19th of 2020. Mind you, during this time, she did get another lawyer. I'm sorry, another judge. So this judge is Judge Kranick, and I think it's a female. And so Sarah says, Honorable Judge Kranick, finally, a new judge. It's strange how the Lord works, as I was in the process of trying to disqualify Wooten. After being my judge 4 years and me still incarcerated with nothing to show other than 7 different attorneys, not by choice, news clips of me working in and out of the courtroom, and everything relative to my case permitted to being slathered on the global internet in which I have not seen myself. I felt he was the ticket holder to my overly hyped, illicit, distributed, Lord, misconstrued criminal case, and great reason I am still here again, ongoing, 4 years and 7 attorneys later, not by choice. See my letter dated 6/29/23 on clerk's website. Lord have mercy. While still waiting to properly, elucidate the court. Ooh, elucidate. I like that. Public and world. And after whatever the dysfunction was in the attendance part of my what is this? I'm sorry, her handwriting. Part of my most recent PTC, pretrial conference, status hearing, which I am trying to ensure my automatic attendance futuristically. Please see my draft motion included. I am still trying to have my attorney submit on my behalf. I wanted to bring your judicial attention the following information so you and the world are aware. It is not I, hold on, it is not I who, is this our ever? I don't know. Delaying trial, as Wooten inappropriately accused me of doing in the past. So she doesn't realize that bullying her lawyers or trying to get them to lie to her or not being uncooperative is causing the delay. Okay, Sarah. Let's see where we are. Delaying trial is Wooten inappropriately accused me of doing in the past, especially now. You have mandated a trial date to be had in May with no future continuances, leaving less than 4 months to put together and complete what should and could have been done already. Okay, well, now you're contradicting yourself. Which one is it going to be? Do you want the trial to start or 4 months is not enough? Let's not forget that she waived her right to a speedy trial. Okay. What happened in all the 4 years prior? Please see all my correspondence online. To date, okay, now this is lawyer number 8, y'all. Winston E. Hobson has been my court appointed attorney for 133 days and counting. To date, Mr. Hobson has only met with me one time for a total of 3 hours, and that was on November 7th, 2023. Now, let's take into account a lot of lawyers, if not all lawyers, go on vacation for the holidays. So, to me, that's not unreasonable. If he met with you for 3 whole hours, November 7th, you're writing this letter a month later, that's not unreasonable. If this man went on vacation, what are you expecting? And 3 hours, let's think of it like this. 3 hours for a lawyer is a long time. They have other clients, they have other things that they have to do. So this man set aside 3 whole hours to sit with you to talk about a strategy and different things like that. A lot can be discussed and planned out in 3 hours. That is not unreasonable to me. So 30 days without communication, and let's factor in that he had Thanksgiving, he had Christmas. Most lawyers just take off for the rest of the year and resume after New Year's. So that's not his fault that you had to sit there through the holidays and you have nothing but time. That's not his fault. To date, no phone calls have been received by Mr. Hobson, oh Lord, as his phone does not work properly for for further immediate, much needed communication to be made between client and attorney. So Sarah's problem is that she wants somebody at her beck and call. That's all that is. When I call, you better answer right away. Sometimes that's unrealistic for an attorney. They're not just sitting at the desk waiting on people to call. A lot of times the assistant or the paralegal has to take messages and relay them, and still that doesn't mean they're immediately available to talk to you, especially if there aren't any updates. Okay? Things in the legal world don't happen as fast as what she's thinking. There's not going to be an update every day. There may not be an update for weeks. Now, he probably could answer the phone and just say, "I don't have an update. There's nothing to discuss." But, I'm not him and I can't tell him what to do. I can't tell this man how to run, his law practice or his life as far as being a lawyer. And she can't either. Like, he works for the state. He's there to represent you. So if there's nothing else to be discussed, there's nothing else to be discussed. She just has to deal with it. To date, I have mailed 5 letters to Mr. Hobson trying to communicate my urgent need to speak to him. I wanna know what's so urgent. To date, I sent 1 letter to the investigator in my case to contact Hobson to contact me and see if he can assist in correcting the phone problem. Also, to inquire when anyone is coming. Okay. To date, I feel I am not being included or heard or cared about in my case. Again, from the continued miscommunication, again, with Mr. Hobson, and time consuming, undiscussed entries are being made on my behalf. The continuance I did not know about, the waiver of appearance I did not know about, along with other documents. And I am never sent copies of anything filed, so I know. I keep trying to tell him about what this girl just writes. It's like a long run on. I keep trying to tell him about with no response, furthering the already massive dysfunction in my 4-year case. I was hoping in the PTC status hearing on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, I could at least play catch up in the courtroom for 5 minutes. So many of my attorneys have done prior, including Mr. Hobson. In the one court date I've had for a continuance of a continuance, what, October 30th, 2023, to express and emphasize the need for him to communicate a schedule. And second, oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I've had a continuance of a continuance to express and emphasize the need for him to communicate and schedule a second very overdue meeting. I still have not heard from Mr. Hobson about our Miss PTC status hearing. What's the status? To date, 1 out of 133 days and counting, attorney and his client have met. To date, 3 out of now 3,192 hours, attorney and client have discussed partial general case information. To date, I still have not seen my discovery. Your Honor, when is the next status hearing, please? Especially since we were not at the last PTC status hearing, and especially since I am trying to communicate with my attorney in more than one way to fully maximize and utilize the minute amount of time allotted before trial, my fair, appropriate, lawful trial. I am wondering why, though, I've had to wait for 4 years for something to finally happen on slash in my case. Ask Judge Wooten. Oh, Lord. I wonder also, was I the oldest case on his docket? Maybe you waived your right to a speedy trial. What does she not understand? Either way, I'm still here, waiting patiently and very excited to get this highly anticipated show on the road. Lord, she's so disrespectful. She called this a show. She called this a show. I await your overdue and very needed judicial direction, supervision, and intervention. She can't intervene, Sarah. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Thank you in advance, Judge Cranick. Welcome. What is this now? Now she writes, in the Circuit Court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. Motion to be included in and allow admittance to all defendants' pretrial conferences and hearings. Comes now, defendant Sarah Boone, by and through her undersigned attorney, Winston E. Hobson, respectfully request permission or permittance to attend all my pretrial conferences and hearings ongoing until the conclusion of my criminal case. The following, it says, per FRCP Rule 3-220, the following is stated to lawfully allow my inclusion, participation, and requested admittance. Her handwriting is so bad on this letter, and I know she writes really well, but she did a horrible job this time. That's why I'm struggling through this. The trial court may hold one or more pretrial conferences to consider such matters as will promote a fair and expeditious trial. The defendant must be present at any pretrial conference unless the defendant's presence is waived in writing or on the record by the defendant or by the defendant's counsel with the defendant's consent. In support, the defendant alleges as follows. These pretrial conferences are for my personal individual criminal case. If professional YouTubers, news channels, court TV, etc. are given permission and allow entry into the courtroom for viewing, and the judge also is allowing the conferences to be streamed live with all the court minutes uploaded to the internet and world, I, the defendant, should be included foremost. I may not have regular, consistent updates or communication with my court appointed attorney, and by attending all the PTCs and hearings, I will know current status, important dates, casework being completed, changes in parties, timeframes, expectations, all pertinent information I, the defendant, have a right to know, want and need want and need to regarding my case. All information is important, relative, and necessary to me. Sarah is aware of updates and court dates because she makes it known in these letters. She always puts that she knows that there's a PTC that's going to take place. She puts the time and the date. So she's lying. You are aware. Now, somebody else may be telling her, or either she's looking it up, but you're aware. You're aware. Okay. I am not consistently including in the certificates of service and sent copies of any documents being filed in court regarding my case as requested numerous times by the defendant in writing and verbally in the courtroom, neither by the judge, the court, or my attorney. By attending my pretrial conferences, I will know what documents have been filed, need to be, and will be for and in my case. Another way I can know what is going on in my case and be worked on. They don't put the defendant's name in the certificate of service. It's the lawyer, their contact information, their bar number, and then it is notarized. I don't know what she's talking about. In complete overall support, it is my right by law as an individual, defendant, and inmate to be included in any all developments made in my case. It also is my right to finally achieve success in any and every aspect possible in my case by attending and being included in my pretrial conferences and hearings. Said success can and will be accomplished fairly, faster, properly. That's not true either. Cause okay. Wherefore, the defendant, Sarah Boone, respectfully asked the honorable court to grant my motion to be included going forward to all defendants' pretrial conferences and hearings. She signs it, and then, y'all, she wrote a certificate of service. I certify that an original of this document has been filed via U.S. mail with the clerk of court of the Ninth Judicial Circuit, and that a copy of this document will be filed in the Florida e-portal to state attorney and all attorneys or other parties on court record on this 19th day of January 2024. She signs it. She puts her inmate number and her mailing address. When I say my mouth is so dry, I need a dictionary and everything because this woman is wild. Hold on. Mm, mm, mm. Bama, I don't know who we is. I guess the we is supposed to be her quote unquote legal team. I don't know. Let's see what Jenny's saying. Jenny, you are so pretty. I just wanted to tell you that. You are beautiful. I just want so many details that we will never get. I don't think we can trust a word she says. I need one of these attorneys to quit practicing and write a book. Okay. You know what? I don't think that they could because it would be a breach of attorney client privilege. The only thing that they could do is they could write a book and they have to leave out names and they can't make it so specific that we can discern who they're talking about. You know what I mean? So like if they wanted to talk about her, they could just say, there was a specific client that I had that was just, insufferable. I was unable to get along with her and things of that nature, but they can't make it so we can be like, oh, it's Sarah Boone. You know what I mean? And they can't put her name or things like that. So it's a little tricky. But yes, I wish I could find out every detail is as well. What was said, how it was said. I want to know specifically what her defense strategy is, what she feels that they should do or say, and I'm pretty sure it's something that they can't, and that's why this keeps going on. Sadly, this can go on and on and on. There is no limit to how many attorneys you can have. Um, and there honestly isn't anything that anybody can do. They cannot force her to have a private attorney. They can't force anything on anyone. And so I am so eager to see eventually what's going to happen. I really am because this is exhausting. Not only for all of us, like, we get a little kiki out of it, but what's frustrating for me is the fact that George's mom, and I think just his family altogether, specifically his mom, they need some closure. And this is 4 years, and I don't appreciate how disrespectful she is to the court. I don't appreciate the fact, um yeah, that she's so disrespectful. Um, I think part of the reason that Sarah is doing what she's doing is because it kind of reminds me a little bit of Daryl Brooks. I think that she's intimidated by anybody that will challenge her. She's intimidated by people who are smarter than her. She's going up against lawyers who have years of experience. When I looked up each individual attorney that she's had, all of them have been attorneys for over 20 years. Okay. So they know what they're doing. And defense attorneys have it hard because they're not there to prove guilt or innocence. Okay. And so they have to use the information that they have and apply it. So in this case, we know Sarah's guilty. They have to figure out what she's guilty of, why she's guilty of that, and what can I do? Can I get a plea deal for her? Can or what defense can I use? Can I say that, with this battered woman syndrome, will that work? And it probably would have if she hadn't talked to the police, honestly. Um, but will that work? Alcoholism is not a proper defense or what have you. Maybe a personality disorder. They got to figure, and that's where all of these experts come into play. Okay. And then it's the thing with that too. An expert is not going to risk their license, okay, and their reputation on some foolery. If I don't believe that you have a personality disorder, I'm not going to lie for you. That's probably something else that's happened. She can say all day long that George beat her up, but at the same token, you kept letting him come back. You bailed him out each time. Okay. And that could have just been part of the cycle. Like maybe you were abused to the point where, you just took him back. I'm not here to question that. I'm just stating the facts. He abused you, so you say you let him back. Okay. And the thing, like I said, that's questionable is the fact that if you were being abused, let's say you were being abused, all right, and you got him in that suitcase and you thought, okay, I got him in there, I'm free. Well, you didn't run to the neighbor's house. You didn't, run to go get help. You didn't even call the police and say, listen, my boyfriend, my fiance has a history of domestic violence and I was scared. I got him, locked up in this suitcase. And I ran from the house. Somebody needs to go get him out. Like there's no logic in that. Even if you guys were playing, the fact of the matter is that when you woke up the next morning, it took you what, was it an hour, 2 hours to call the police? You called your ex-husband first, which put him at a risk of, um, being at risk of community of being accomplished with you, or what have you. Thank God he didn't go in the house, so none of it makes sense. I don't even think that there's a proper defense after this battered woman's syndrome, and I really don't feel like it's gonna work. And so I think that infuriates her because she thinks she's smarter than everybody. She's trying to convince these lawyers of one thing, and a lawyer, being a lawyer, is going to look at the facts. This is not what the fact says. And I am not going to, again, go against my ethics and my training to lie. And so that's what I think what happened with Mr. Hobson. I think he even stated in his motion to withdraw that he made in-person and video visits with Sarah, and he cited that the ethical considerations have arisen, limiting his ability to effectively represent her. And he also stated that, she wants me to do something that I'm not willing to do. It goes against my professional obligations. It questions my ethics and my morals, as an officer of the court. And so he withdrew and it was granted. Let's see what y'all saying. Yeah, it is. You just got like I said, you gotta be careful. You can't just, been like, Sarah Boone was the bane of my existence. Even though I think, it's true. Dog mom, where have you been? Well, I can't talk because, I was gone for a little while. I had to take a little mental health break from this internet. But I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, let's see. Does she have yes. Yes, she does. She does. Um, and to be honest with you, I don't feel like it was never given to her. What I think is that so like I said, with every new attorney, the old attorney okay. So between attorney number 2, Mauricio, and attorney number 3, let's just say number 3 didn't file a withdrawal and he was able to stay on the case. He would do what's called as a demand for discovery. So basically what that means is that Mauricio will provide all of the discovery that he has, meaning all of the expert witness testimony, all of the evidence that he was able to compile, all of that would be given to this new attorney. This new attorney would then share it with Sarah. She has a right to that discovery. They can sit down and go through the evidence and come up with a strategy, right? So I think that they're giving it to her. However, I don't think with the last lawyer, Mr. Hobson, I don't think that she gave him an opportunity to get new information to give to her. So everything that he has is what the previous attorneys have had, right? She already has that. So if there's nothing new to give you, there's nothing new to give you. And so I think she's just so paranoid that somebody's hiding something from her that she's saying all of this. So again, if he hasn't had the opportunity to get new information to pass on to her, then I'm not going to keep giving you the same discovery package. It just doesn't make sense. She just wants to be in control of everything, and again, I think that she's so paranoid that somebody's keeping her out of the loop that she feels like, "Okay, well, I have to be at every, every status hearing," which, like I said, every status hearing is not this long hearing that she says. And by law, per the Constitution, we are able to, um view public hearings. This is a public hearing, so we can either view it or we can file what is known as a FOIA request to get information. We can get body cam footage if the state permits it. We can get all kind of jail logs, files. We can get phone calls. We can get anything that's permissible by the state. Okay, so I don't know why she's upset about that. It's not like they're doing something special for the public that they're not doing for you. So let's just say they might have a status conference where the prosecution and the defense meet, right? And it just may be so much as, the judge asking the prosecution, "Are you still ready to start in May?" "Yes, Your Honor, we are." Defense, "Are you ready to start in May?" "No, Your Honor, we're not. I'm asking for, a continuance." And the judge will say yes or no, look at the calendar, schedule a new date. That's it. That can take less than 5 minutes. So, in that case, they wouldn't need to wake Sarah up in her cell, get her something to eat, get her dressed, transport her to the cell, put her in the holding cell, and have her sitting there for 5 minutes. That's a waste of resources when you're gonna find out eventually, right? And if they filed a motion for continuance and it was granted, what's the emergency? You still in jail. So if they filed a continuance, there's nothing you can do. If they say, "No, we're not giving you a continuance, it's still gonna start in May," there's still nothing you can do. You still have to sit there and wait. But like I said, I think that she's pissed that she feels the public knows whatever information she feels that we know that she doesn't know, which is a lie because everything that we know, she knows. They haven't put out any details about this case. The only thing that I've seen are potential witnesses. That's it. We don't have access to any of the evidence, testimony. We don't know who any of these experts that they may have on the stand. We don't know any of that. That won't be available until after she's sentenced. So I don't know what she's crying about. I really don't. I cannot dog mom. Listen. I can't wait for this to get started. I cannot. Oh no, whose mom is sick? Oh, dog mom. Oh, dog mom. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I'm sorry. She should just represent yourself at this point. If you know so much more than a trained attorney who has experience, just do it. I mean, honestly, what can she lose? Either way, I feel like she's gonna go you gonna do some time. You're gonna do some time. This is an open and shut case. It's so simple. History of domestic abuse. You locked him in a suitcase, zipped him up, right? He couldn't get out. You taunted him, berated him, laughed at him. You called your ex-husband over before calling 911. We can ready to listen to the 911 call as soon as I get done running my mouth. Right? She didn't do CPR. She wasn't interested in doing CPR. And then you told on yourself throughout the interrogation. This is open and shut. And you got everybody against you. His whole family, even neighbors, have said the amount of times that they heard you guys fighting, right? It wasn't just him jumping on you. You fought him too. You were the aggressor as well. So, I mean, at this point, she something got to give. Mm-mm. She doesn't care. It's all about her. It's always been about Sarah. Period. Oh, yes, plant dog mom. I don't know. You know what? I'm working on a video. I don't know if you guys know Francine Hughes. She is the woman behind The Burning Bed. So we know Farrah Fawcett, rest in peace, played her in that movie, but she is the woman that the movie was based on. And I want to go through that case and compare it to Sarah's, and we see what we get. So that's the next video that'll be dropping in a couple of days. But honestly, Bama, It probably coulda worked if she wouldn't have ran down to the police thinking she knew everything. See, that's the beauty of having an attorney and an experienced attorney, because they coulda shut her up, right, and coulda figured something else out for her, because they have a way with words, and they have a way almost manipulating a situation in ways that we would have never thought to do so. But it's too late now, you know? He did. And that was probably lie. She probably wanted him to lie. Mhm. Aw, yes, dog mom. I missed you too. Yes. Letitia is worse. I at one point wanted to do Letitia, but it's already a couple channels that are really going hard on it, so that's okay. But the worst. So she probably will, because remember I said that eventually. So since she's past number two of public defenders, now they're dipping into private attorneys that volunteer their time pro bono. So that was Mauricio, and this current attorney that she has, she's a female. She's a private attorney who has volunteered her time pro bono. There's only so many attorneys now. I don't know what she's gonna do. She does. And I just can't see how, like, even if it wasn't intentional, even if it wasn't intentional, let's just say it wasn't. Again, the fact that you took so long to call 911, you called your ex-husband for what was he gonna do? That's enough right there, and I don't see how she doesn't see the wrong in that. And even when she called 911, there was no sense of urgency. She wasn't panicked. She didn't ask, "What can I do?" She immediately started to explain herself and come up with this narrative, you know? I don't know how she thinks she's not gonna do time. I agree, Jenny. And see, that's the thing that I keep toggling between, because it's like, was she really intoxicated to the point that she didn't remember the video, making the 2 videos? Because I know her ex-husband said that she called him, like, around 11:30 or 11:45, excuse me, but he couldn't make out what she was talking about. So I And then I'm wondering, like, did they test her blood alcohol level? However, it had been, what, about 12 hours? So I don't know how much of that would have passed through her system, enough to tell if she was, how intoxicated she was at the time. Brian, now I did see when I combed through the gosh, the files that are made public right now. I did see that Mauricio, her attorney number 2, did, um, interview Brian. And so I'm wondering, who is he gonna be a witness for, the defense or the prosecution? Either way, he's not gonna have anything great to say about her, right? Oh, no problem, dog mom. You know how I feel about you. Yes, we've been having great days. It was a good day, girl. Bama, where is the letter? Because when I tried to look up info, and you know what? It might all be sealed because they're opening up um that part of the case, like the family court part. And so I don't think I can get it yet. But I did hear about that. And he can't give her any money because she's in custody of the state. So by law, he's not required to pay her any child support. You in jail. So what you need money for? Hey, Shy. You think so? See, I don't know. It's just so hard to say because I don't know what her base is. Like, you know how you have people that are just what functional alcoholic, I guess you can call it. So she did sound like she was under the influence, but I'm just wondering, like, was she just like at any point I'm gonna pass out and not remember anything? Now, according to her, they only had wine. And I know sometimes the cheaper wines do have you, feeling pretty good or whatever. But I've never had any wine that made me pass out like that. What kind of wine is that? So do you think that her body, what am I trying to say? Like her tolerance level, what would it be? Low or high? I guess I should say her tolerance level was high. And so maybe she just drank over what her body could handle without her realizing it because she drank often. So I'm wondering if that could have been it. Like maybe, her body she didn't realize she was drunk because her body's so immune to high levels of alcohol. And then what would be too much for us wasn't enough for her, or so she thought. Does that make sense? She was. Now, when was that? Was that before she passed out or no, that was before she called the police, right? Because she called Brian and then she was on the back drinking that Dr. Pepper smoking those cigarettes, right? She was waiting on Brian. The entitlement. Mm. Woo! Drinking out of the holes and everything. Oh, you're welcome, dog mom. Oh, okay. Well, if it was an attorney, then they would be able to get they have so here's the thing. Um, if you're a licensed attorney, you can get information that the public can't. So maybe that's why. So if it was an attorney, they can log into the system and get it. But it's not available to the public. Even if I did a FOIA request, I wouldn't be able to get it. Mhm. That's true. That's true. Mm. Wow. Okay, the same morning. Oh God. All right, y'all. So that's all I have. So again, lawyer number one's name was hold on, I'm gonna read all the lawyers again. Lydia Labar. Number two was Mauricio. I think it's Padilla. He has his own law firm in Florida. Number three, they didn't give the name, but he was an attorney that was going to work pro bono from Mauricio's law firm. Number four was Robert Wesley. Number five was David Verrett. Number 6 was Mark Consalo. Number 7 was Frank Bankowitz. Number 8 was Hobson. And number 8, what is her name? It's written down somewhere. Patricia Cashman. She was appointed on February 9th, 2024. The status hearing is going to be April 12th of 2024. At that time, we're going to see if they are ready to start trial or not. Hopefully so. So I did want to watch a couple of videos. Let me see. Okay, I wanted to look at this video real quick. What you talking about? Oh, thank you so much. Don't leave yet. We're not done. We're gonna do a little more. I'm gonna pull up this video because I made a few observations. Hold on a second. Thank you, Bama. Okay, let's make this larger. I'm gonna go to the 17-second mark, and I'm not gonna play the audio. Let me turn it off because it's the suitcase, and I can't. I can't. I'm not gonna do that. But I do want y'all to take a look at this carpet. and I hope y'all can see it. Hold on. Let me push pause. Hold on. Let me make this larger. Okay, I want y'all to take a look at this carpet. Now, I could be reaching, I don't know, whatever. But there is a part. First of all, the carpet is disgusting. I'm going to say that. This video is from Mushmouth Joe, guys. The carpet is disgusting. I can't make this. Okay. I hope y'all can see it. The carpet looks like it has not been shampooed and I don't know when. There's a little rug right in front of Sarah. I'm going to push play in a second. That is filthy and it has paint on it. Okay. The suitcase is over here in the corner, face down. So we know we've seen this already. It's impossible for him to get out of there. There's a part, if you look at my cursor, right here. Now, I don't know if there was a table there. I'm going to push play. Hold on. I don't know if there was a table there or what, but it looks like perhaps she took this suitcase and maybe wheeled it in this area over here, or there was a table there because you'll see. Look, you can see a line of demarcation. Watch this. And there's no audio. Y'all see that right there? Do y'all think that's wheels from the suitcase, or do you think there was a table there right here at one point? You see how the rest of the carpet is filthy and it's really light right here. This rug here has all kind of paint on it. So maybe there was a table there from when they were painting, or do you feel like that's the suitcase? I don't know. I have I hadn't seen that before. What y'all think? Go back to these comments. Okay, wait. I don't know what she see. This is the thing. Earlier, I said that the judge cannot be in direct communication with a defendant. And so, since he had not been responding to her letters, I think that she thought by insulting him, he would have to respond to her. And he didn't. So it just pissed her off anymore, even more. The only time he addressed her directly was at the status hearing when Frank Bankowitz was granted his withdrawal. And he basically told her, like, you don't control anything, lawyers work for you. I mean, lawyers work for the state and they're representing you and you're on their time, they're not being unreasonable with the amount of time that they're getting in contact with you. You don't control the narrative. But I think that was her way of trying to upset him so that he would be forced to um address her. And then he can't. No, you're not sounding me. She gained some weight. She got a really bad haircut. Um, which honestly is not a bad thing. Like she's not really an attractive woman, but you can tell like since she's detoxed from alcohol and hasn't had any cigarettes, she looks healthier, hence the weight gain and all of that. So yeah, they said I heard a really loud thud on the stairs. So that's what I'm wondering. What y'all think? Let me hold on. She looks rough, but she looks healthier than she did when they came to her house to question her. She was a stick. She survived off of alcohol and cigarettes. She looks like she's been eating well, but I just think naturally she's just not really an attractive woman. And I mean, I don't think we're wrong in saying that she's not. You know what it I think, and then you know what else? Her personality. Like, I think that's what really makes it worse. She's just not a nice person. There's nothing that I can say about Sarah aside from the fact that, she has a good vocabulary, I guess, but she's not a nice person. And that can make you unattractive, doesn't it? It looks like something was there. Like I said, I don't know if a table was there. If maybe it was a table there because the paint is on that rug, or if she pulled that suitcase through there. I don't know. It could be. Now, Jenny, to your point, I did read that he was in the suitcase for 11 hours. So, let me see. What time did they get there? We're gonna see in a second because we're gonna watch that too real quick. I think they got there was about close to 1, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So 12 hours they said he had been 11 hours he had been in there. I think he was in there a little longer. I don't know. But that's true. She could have knocked him out. Now they said he had like a contusion, didn't they? They said he had like scratches and stuff on his neck and his back. I don't remember them saying anything on the head, but again, they can't tell us every little detail yet. So it could be. It could be. That's a good point. That's why I didn't play the sound dog mom. I can't. I just wanted y'all to see that little that little she said she looked hot. The suitcase. But didn't she drag it across the room? Girl, I don't know. Maybe okay, so maybe like I said, I could be reaching. Maybe it was a table there and she just pushed it out of the way. I don't know. And do you think he just woke up in a suitcase, disoriented? It might be though. Like I'm wondering if there was any bruising on his head. Possibly they could prove that. I guess it just depends on, if they can, prove like any bruising on his head or anywhere else that could potentially, knock him unconscious briefly. I don't Mhm. Yeah, she did flip the suitcase. She did. All right, so I'm gonna go back, but I'm not gonna play. We're gonna start back at 1 minute 56 seconds. That's when the 911 call starts. Hold on. Oh, I can't get it like right on there. Forget it. I just started this.
Some medical.
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send a line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. What's the location, Mercy?
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France Court.
All right, great. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Yes, like he has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if like he had like an aneurysm or like what happened.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Listen, we're getting help out there too. All right. Okay. Okay.
Now?
Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay. Is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay. So he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay. How old is the boyfriend, ma'am? 42-year-old male. All right. Okay. We're sending help out there. Sheriff's on the way out there?
Yes,
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen to me. Okay. I just need to confirm this one. All right. I understand. I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No. He's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me. Okay.
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah. Okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay. Listen to me. There's a defibrillator available. I need you to get it for me. Okay.
What is it?
You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Do you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his. Okay, ma'am. Listen. So listen. Is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff.
Right. Okay. All right. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right. Okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right. Okay. Listen. Okay, man. That's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him. Okay. All right. Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay. And,
Please. Okay, he just gurgled.
okay. Okay. Listen to me. All right. I want you to place the heel of your hand. Okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Yes,
we want to pump his chest to me hard and fast, going to this twice per second.
I'm doing it again.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is mixing.
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yes. Come on, please. Hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing it while I'm talking to you, okay?
Okay.
Still doing it.
All right, just continue pumping his chest. Count on a second count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay. Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me cut.
Right, okay, that's fine. You do a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Okay. Keep on pumping, ma'am. 1,
We were playing hide
2,
and seek.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, ma'am.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Believe me, I'm doing it, okay? We were playing hide and seek.
Okay. All right, I understand. All right, just keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
Please hurry. This
Right,
is
okay.
horrible. This is horrific. What happened? Like, what happened?
Okay, man, just keep on pumping his chest for me, okay? They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
Yes. I'm still doing it, okay?
All right, okay, good. And you found them in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
Right, just keep on pumping his chest until they take over, okay?
I am.
Okay.
Open. Come in. Can I stop hugging now?
Let them take over for you, okay?
When was the last time anybody saw him? Last night. We were playing hide and seek. He hid in the suitcase. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, he's been down too long. There's nothing we can do for him.
Hello, ma'am.
And so we're there, obviously.
All right.
Yeah, no, my boyfriend. Is your boyfriend? Okay. Does he have any kind of metaphors? No. No, not that I know of.
Okay, let me read what y'all saying over here. First of all, we all know there was no sense of urgency with Sarah. It sounds like it was an inconvenience for her to have to even involve the police or EMS. Um, I told you guys, and I'm sure you already know, her husband, or I'm sorry, her ex-husband, was called to the apartment, and I really don't know what she was expecting him to do. I really don't. Um, but anyway, we all know she was not doing CPR. I used to work in healthcare for 16 years, and I've had to participate in codes. And when you are performing CPR, you better be in shape because it will take everything out of you. You are pressing down hard, firm, and fast. Okay. The depth that you have to go is very tiring. Your elbows are locked, all right? And they train you on a mannequin, and the mannequin will click every time you go far enough. Well, the human body is not going to click. Okay. So you just have to know what you're doing. Furthermore, you will most likely bruise and or break ribs. Okay. Now, somebody that is deceased, I'm going through the questions, and Shai said, would blood out of the mouth mean internal injury? So a person that is deceased or unconscious and you're performing CPR, that person could bleed, right? So if you think about the Lori Vallow case where her brother Alex said that, after he shot Lori's husband, yeah, she was still married to him. Her husband Charles, he claims that he did CPR, and one of the things that the police pointed out and EMS was that there were no traces of blood whatsoever. And they made mention that, there should have been traces of some type of blood either on Charles and or on Alex, and there were none. And so they knew right away that he did not even attempt to do any type of CPR. Okay, so we know that Sarah was not out of breath. None whatsoever. I'm wondering how in the world were you doing CPR and still holding the phone? It didn't sound like she was on speakerphone. It sounded like she had the phone cradled between her shoulder and her ear, or even, oh, excuse me, even if she had oh, that's so disgusting. I'm sorry. So sorry. Even if she had a Bluetooth on or an AirPod, still you would have heard some type of shuffling. She would have been out of breath. The way that she counted wasn't a specific cadence that coincides with doing CPR. There was nothing to indicate that she was doing any type of anything. She just counted so that man would shut the hell up. And that's another thing. He was stiff, so he's balled up, rigor mortis set in. You couldn't have, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the deceased or his family, but there's no way she could have unfolded him to get to the part that she needed to on his body to do CPR. You are so correct. None whatsoever. Listen, I think that she I don't know, dog mom. I don't know anymore. Like there's no legitimate excuse. Because even if I was playing with my man, I'm not gonna tell y'all that. You know what I mean? Or I would try to phrase it differently. So I no, nope, not at all. Nope. Yeah. Too many details right away. I read something when I was doing a research project that criminals oftentimes will provide too many details right away because they feel the more the better. If I'm able to provide to you in great detail what happened, what my stance was, where I was, what I said, how I did XYZ, who was around, what they'll have to say about it, I'm more believable. When less is more, right? Less is more. Look, we were drinking. I don't know how he got in the suitcase. I don't remember. I guess I zipped him up. I passed out. I'm not going into great detail about any of that. We were painting and all that because nobody gives a damn. That doesn't matter to me. What the hell happened? That's it. He's in a suitcase. Why didn't you unzip it? Oh, you forgot you fell asleep. All right, we're gonna investigate. That's it. That's all. Wait, let me read that again. What it say? She just wants him to be dead. That's all. She could care less about anything else but him being dead and her saying it's not essential. You're right. When you do CPR, it feels like a workout. I don't know if any of you have ever had to do it. Like, you can do 2 rounds and somebody has to take over. It is physically exhausting. Seriously. Seriously, like, and then not to mention, like, your adrenaline is going, so that's gonna exhaust you even further, right? You don't hear any of that. Mm-mm. She wasn't doing anything but standing there wondering what the hell happened. That's all. Mhm. I don't know what she thought he was gonna do. Even if he would have come to, he's not gonna just jump up. What's wrong with her? Uh-oh, did my mouse finally die? Oh no, there it is. Okay. Always a red flag when a 911 call is more about the story narrative. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. They gotta start telling it right away. And also probably she probably had to hurry up and get it out because it was probably rehearsed. You know, she had time to rehearse what she thought would be important to them. So let's think about our timeline again. She got up. George wasn't upstairs. She went downstairs, unzipped the suitcase. He's deceased. Oh shit, what am I gonna do? All right, let me call Brian. Brian gets there. He's like, you call 911. She still waits a minute, goes outside, smokes, drinks a Dr. Pepper. So she had at least a good hour and some change to think about what am I going to tell them. And you can tell she almost blurted it, like originally she was calm. So you can get me to who I need to talk to. My boyfriend's dead. So either you're going to dispatch me to fire, police, or medical, or all of them. I don't know. Once they answered, she just blurted everything out. It's like, "I gotta hurry up and get this out. This is what happened. Don't ask me to do CPR. I tried already. It did not work. He's gone and he's purple." Like, she kept mentioning that, okay? So, criminals just they just don't think. They don't think. That's just it. They don't think. Yeah. And like I said, and like our friend Jenny said, I think that I really don't believe that it was just wine. I believe it was something else stronger. I've never known a wine, and oh God, I've had my time with wine, and I still do. But it has never, ever, 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 ever. I don't care if it was gas station wine or the most expensive wine. I have always felt relaxed, and even if I attempted to drink the entire bottle, I still wasn't inebriated. I would be relaxed and mellow, and I would go to bed. And I would wake up and remember, okay, I had a good time with this wine, last night. I wasn't like, oh my God, I don't remember what happened last night. I don't remember, him getting to the suitcase. I don't remember, like that just doesn't make sense. She mixed something else in there. Or were you doing drugs too? Like something. Right. Right. That's her MO though, and I think that's why she's pissing off the attorneys that she had, because she wants to prove something to them. Sarah has a problem with feeling less than. So anybody who is in a position of power, who has authority, who's more intelligent than her, she has a problem with them. Okay? Because she needs you to know who she is and what she's about, which is nothing. She didn't even have a job. And she can't blame COVID. I know a lot of people were laid off, but where there's a will, there's a way. She had a car, she could have been doing Instacart, Uber Eats, DoorDash, anything. You didn't want to work. You didn't want to. You had alimony. She was receiving $1,000 a month alimony. Child support, I'm sorry. Was it child support or alimony from her ex-husband, and she was trying to survive off of that. So Sarah, like I said, she has a problem with authority. She doesn't want to be told what to do, when to do it, and she doesn't want to or she doesn't want other people to feel like they're more intelligent than she is. That's what I gather from her. Right. Nobody could, like, oh my gosh. And why wouldn't it be your first thought? Like, why wouldn't it be your first thought to call 911? Because here's the thing, 911, EMS, and firefighters, they can't arrest you. They're not there to assess if you committed a crime or not. That's the police. And even with the police, like if they don't have probable cause, they can't arrest you. And that's why she wasn't arrested right away, because they didn't have anything to arrest her on. Okay? So even if you called them the minute you woke up and you found him, you weren't going to get arrested right away. So why did you feel like you had to come up with this elaborate story to try to save yourself? You know what I mean? Like, your first instinct should have been, I gotta try to at least get help. Even if he is dead in purple, I still gotta call. Like, if you claim you love him so much, that's the love of your life, your fiance, y'all been through ups and downs, whatever the case may be. I don't know why, like I said, your first instinct wouldn't be, get on the phone, let me call 911. Then maybe call Brian, I guess, for emotional support. I don't know. But that, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense at all. She probably did. She probably did. I'm thinking it was too, Bam. I'm telling you. Wine don't lay you out like that. It doesn't. I don't care what wine it is. It just, that's not what it's for. It's a social, drink. It's just people just have a glass of wine after work and mellow out. I don't know. Right. They did. But see, the thing is that he had so he was the one that was ordered to stay away from her. So she wouldn't have gotten in any trouble. She wasn't That wasn't part of her bail conditions. His bail conditions were that he was supposed to stay away from her and, to not have any communication. So she wouldn't have been in trouble. Mm-mm. Right. That's why when we about to watch this part 2, that's why when they asked her, like, "Well, what type of medical conditions does he have?" All of a sudden he gonna have a heart attack? And people do, don't get me wrong. It could be a spontaneous, heart attack or whatever. But come on, Sarah. Come on now. All right, let's jump to, am I on the right time spot? Okay, yeah, this is when she talks to the first responder.
Did you call it? What time did you call it?
I'll get a time for it.
Hello there.
Hi.
You live here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you. We gotta get some information
I
from the
know.
fire
That's
department.
the property manager. I don't know if I should go tell him really quick or
We'll
just so he
take
knows
care of
what's going
that.
on.
Where is he at?
And he wants that one.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay?
I had a cigarette litter.
I'll get it for you, okay? Wait 1 second, okay?
I really need something to drink.
Okay,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second.
It's Armand you.
Put the time that you called it.
Yeah, put that right there.
Is that the time you called it? Okay, perfect. You can't go back inside. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend?
Yes, because for like 3.5 years.
What happened?
He and we drank last night. We had a
Can you pass this to the around to the FD guys? Stop. They need to sign that for sure.
They're with me, so they're not
Oh,
going
they're not
anywhere.
leaving? Okay.
I think I woke her up.
No. Each of them has to, because this might be a real thing. So each of them has to put their name
Normally
in.
I just put everybody.
Yeah, you call her working.
What's going on?
So
I just got here, so fill me in.
no problem. Like,
Yeah,
he and
that's
I
all right.
were putting a puzzle together. We've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase. Okay.
Who is this guy?
That's my ex-husband, my former husband.
How did he live here with you guys?
No, I called him over here.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
So then he came over here.
Here, let's talk in private, okay?
I called you guys.
Mhm.
I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning when I found it.
Before you called?
Yes.
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. And that's when I found him, and I took him out. I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband or
Yes.
your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who dipped him up in?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
I fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what.
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
you didn't
that I
take
know
any
of.
medicine
No.
last night?
No. All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was doing CPR.
What time did you start? Probably, give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cottonmouth right now.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm good.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. Just give us a second, okay?
Somebody else on that collaboration.
It's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house. Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Sit. I don't
water. Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I need water.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
You're trying to, Charlie, but you on it.
Hey, how are you doing? Okay, so you don't live here in this house?
No. I live down in Lake Winona Cove.
Lake Winona Cove. Okay. Yeah. So kind of tell me how you came here today, or.
Well, I had been calling.
Come down here. We gotta talk about it.
I've been calling since.
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife. We've been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out because this is supposed to be her day. So, her child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then finally got a hold of her at 12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to.
Who called? Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her initially.
Give me 1 second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't think so.
Nothing?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, so she called. You get over here.
I called her first.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to get loose. That's when she told me everything was going on. I got my stuff together, put the puppy up in this crate. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming, and then I got over here right after.
Did you go inside and see, and then?
I walked inside the front. I didn't see the little front tile area.
Come on, step this way.
I saw legs. I just didn't really want to be anywhere around it, so I told her.
Well, just for the sake of the crime scene, I want to know if I were to find your footprint, it would be because you went this far into the house. So did you actually make entry past the threshold?
I don't think I ever made it to the carpet. I think it was just in that. I've been over here before.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past that tile area.
Okay. So
I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything in the kitchen. I don't know if that really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of what you have. Well, sit tight for us. We're going to make a few phone calls, and then we'll go from there. Do you know if he has any medical issues? Or?
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before?
I've met him before, yes. Okay. Yes. They've got a whole fun history. history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you guys have called over quite a few times.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like I think 5 times against her. So.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with.
So,
I haven't been here personally.
it's
So they have
he's currently on parole because of it. So
because of domestic violence with her.
yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. Last time he got like retrial something or other. He had to go to a domestic violence class.
Okay.
I know he was doing it at a parole officer, stuff like that. But I mean, like every time she had him arrested, the next day she was trying to get him bailed out too. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, she's getting water from the tap. Probably gonna pass out on us. Okay. Well, listen, please do me a tight.
Oh no,
I'll make a few
not
phone
a problem.
calls.
I mean,
where does your kid need to be picked up?
Lakemont Elementary.
How soon though?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
I
Okay.
normally leave him out.
Let me try and get this going for you because I know you need that. I'll go ahead and start making the calls. Ma'am, could you go ahead and give me his last name? Torres. Spell it for me.
Torres.
And his first name?
George, Jorge. Jorge.
J.
O-R-G-E.
His birth date?
2/13/78.
And this is the boyfriend?
Yes.
How long?
3.5 years.
Living together that whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And your last name?
Boone.
Spell it.
B-O-O-N-E.
First name?
Sarah. S-A-R-A-H.
Birth date?
10/10/77.
So you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine,
Putting puzzles together, doing
doing
artwork.
puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he
What
gets,
time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30.
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep, forgetting that he was in the
suitcase. You guys were
suitcase.
playing the hide and go seek.
Yes.
And at some point, you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
In it. Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought it would be funny, a little
joke. It was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs
this morning or this afternoon. Yes, when I got up.
What time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that we have been going through. Jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
Life, all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
So you began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About what time this morning did you start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon because I was awake, but then I finally decided to come downstairs at like 12:30-ish, whatever it is. And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase and he wasn't moving. Nothing was happening. So I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called us?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out and he was gurgling, but I could just tell by looking at him.
But you knew how to do CPR. You doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing it.
And he's got no medical? He doesn't take any medication?
I don't know. I don't know medical-wise. I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever. Okay. The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
Okay. All right. Here, I want you to sit back down because I don't want
Can I have one more sip of water, please?
Yeah, go.
Denver, 29 Residential Audible, 1303 Island Bay Drive.
I'll do what I can to get you a cup because I don't want you to have to keep doing that.
Maintenance didn't have the proper cancel indications for the front door. Right to that 1375. The motor unit on the channel.
The cups are right there.
Okay. 44 motor unit.
Right here. Don't talk to the ex-husband right
now.
Oh,
I won't. Can I have a cigarette, please?
Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house.
It's on the back porch.
Nope. All of it. It's secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these deputies has a pack from someone, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay?
Just cut, please.
Okay. I don't want you on your feet. It's still Boone, okay.
Yeah,
and then your first name?
Brian, Brian.
Brian. And your date of birth?
5/27/75.
And your child is in school right now. He's not here with you.
No. He's
okay.
at school.
He's in school. How old is he?
This will be a fun one. He's not. He's third
I
grade.
can't even start with how you would explain something like this. Okay. Sixth grade, you said?
Third grade.
Oh, third
He's
grade.
not.
Third grade. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So sit tight for us. I'm sorry it's so hot. Maybe the middle of that would be a good spot to stand. So we'll take it from there. I'll keep you updated.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Did we get that dog by any chance?
He's sleeping under the.
Oh, poor thing. So your backyard's not fenced. Okay. Because we put him in the backyard and I guess he knew to.
I'm sorry?
Your dog. We thought the backyard was fenced.
The dogs are outside?
No. We have them contained.
One's deaf and one's blind.
Okay. Okay.
That's why I was making sure they were under the table.
Nope, that's yours. So we just stand wait for getting instructions on what to do next. You got some water, good. Okay.
Can I please just have a cigarette? They're on the back porch.
Not right now. We can't have you go and get anything. Why don't you sit in the shade? You're okay right there? Or maybe a little closer here where the shade is?
243 Delta, can I check?
Am I able? Someone asked,
1334.
and then you said, wait a minute. My ex-husband trying to have a cigarette. Okay, that makes
We can't let you guys communicate right now.
I know it's what I was asking you. Ask for one.
You want me to get a cigarette from him and bring it to you?
That's okay.
I could probably do that.
Ask for a lighter. Thank you.
No problem.
I was gonna have him arrange childcare.
Okay, good. For the child in school up the street. Okay.
Is my name on there yet?
No, sir, it's not. I need to get her on there too and him.
Yes.
So they're en route already, probably?
Did anybody call?
No, you want me to call?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were calling. All right, let me get homicide. All right.
It's natural. You're nervous.
I'm
You
not
have your
nervous,
anxiety.
Matt.
You're scared, right?
I don't know how to explain it to you.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I don't know how to. I'm just waiting for whoever, so.
I could tell you this. I'm gonna be here just as long as you are, including my. It'll be a while. I'm welcoming this breeze right now. It's kind of warm. All right. So just bear with us.
I know.
All right.
If you could like give me whatever updates or anything that you know of, that's just how I work. So I know like kind of what.
Well, let me look at my computer. See. We already got a detective on his way. He's on the screen. Okay.
Hey, Sarah. Did you get enough water?
Do I have to stand up though?
No, if you want to stay seated, don't. I don't want you getting lightheaded.
I feel weird.
So remember I said the detectives were going to come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're going to ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, sir. My name's
All right, I'm gonna break in here. Let's see what y'all talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, my allergies doing it, y'all. Okay. So she and Brian talked at least twice before. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Can y'all hear me? I hope so. So she and Brian talked at least twice before a 911 call. Yep. So I think Sarah originally said that she came downstairs and tried to do 911. Then she called the police and she called him, which was a lie. Brian called her to see if she was coming to pick up their son from school. And I guess she missed the call, or did she talk to him? Did he? I think he said he talked to her, and that must have been before she went downstairs. And then she called him again to come over there before she called 911. Right, Bama? Yep, that puffy face, and she dehydrated. Right. I don't know where they said her dogs went. I don't think her ex-husband has them. I can't remember if I heard. Hmm. Okay, cool. All right. How long we been on here? 2 hours. Yeah, I think we can cut it off now. I think we've all seen this. So let me think what I want to do. I do have a live schedule for Saturday. Maybe that one I could talk about Francine Hughes and the battered woman syndrome. Um, and see how that ties into Sarah Boone. And then I'll just make a video about Brittany Watts. That's the case. Well, I'll save it for when y'all see it. But anyway, final thoughts. Like I said, they said George spent 11 hours in a suitcase. We now learn that she called Brian twice, or actually spoke to Brian twice. He called her once. She called him another time before she called 911. She went to the back to get a drink of pop and a cigarette before she even thought about calling 911. We also learned that she did not even attempt to do CPR. Um, she did manage to record 2 cell phone videos before she quote unquote passed out. Also, I did want to let you guys know, I told you that in 2008, both George and Sarah were arrested. And the reason why they both were arrested because the police could not determine who was the primary aggressor in that situation, because Sarah claims that George became angry because he thought that she was flirting with someone at the bar. And she claimed that when they got home, he drug her up the stairs and then kicked her in the eye. George claimed that Sarah attacked him and started to choke him, and he had to kick her to get her off of him. The police couldn't determine who did what, and so they both were arrested. Um, and neither side wanted to press charges on the other, and so ultimately they were allowed bond and they were bonded out. The charges were then dropped. So I did find an article, and according to the Training Institute on Strangulation Prevention, they said that victims are 10 times more likely to be murdered by someone who choked them. So I found that pretty interesting. Um, so, yeah, I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen. Like I said, the next status hearing won't be until April, I think 20 yeah, wait a minute. April 20 April 12th, sorry. So it's just a waiting game at this point, just to see what's gonna happen. And I can tell y'all I'm exhausted. Wow. So isn't I think the edema is a result of the kidneys and the kidneys not being able to filter out impurities. I can't remember. It's been so long since I went to nursing school. I don't remember something of that nature. And also the liver, I think just holding on to toxins, something about uric acid. I don't know. Let me stop because I can't remember, but that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Yes, I have a nice group of followers, and I appreciate you all so much. Yes. And then had the audacity, Bama, to like my thing is if it was truly an accident, right? After you called 911, you claim you tried CPR, whatever. There was no concern for him. I didn't hear her say, "I'm sorry that this happened. I miss him." No tears, no empathy, no nothing, no emotion. There was nothing. The only thing I heard was, "Oops, I fell asleep and I need my cigarette and I need my Dr. Pepper expeditiously." I didn't hear any, there was no like again, if this is somebody that you truly love and it was an accident, you truly were playing with this person, wouldn't you show a bit of concern just naturally? This is a loved one we're talking about. Wouldn't you guys, wouldn't start asking questions? She's toast. They did abuse each other. They abused each other. And like I did a video, I don't know if you guys seen it. It's titled Will the Battered Woman's Defense Work? And with that video, I went through all of the arrest warrant affidavits. I went through all of that. And I learned that yes, they abused each other. And when the police, so Sarah would be angry and she would call the police. And when the police got there, she would give her version of events. He would give his version. And they asked George, do you want to press charges? And he said, no, I would never press charges against her. Okay. So they would get into a fight. He would shake it off, but she would get upset. And so she would call the police, and then when they would arrest him for, violating the terms of his bond and, just for domestic violence, she would then come, she would sober up and then she would go down to the jail and she would bail him out or whatever. And here we go again. And it seemed like every time they became intoxicated, here we go. And it's not fair to me that he was the only one that had to complete um substance abuse classes or rehabilitation. She should have been required to as well because she was drinking right along with him. Okay. And there were marks and bruises on him. But the thing with the justice system is that if the person doesn't want to press charges or file a report, you can't make them. And so if George didn't wanna file anything against her, guess what? When he got out of jail, she can jump on him again, jump on him some more, and the police could be called. And that's just that. If he says, "No, I don't wanna press charges," that's the end of it. They can't force you to do anything. And so it's just so unfortunate in this situation because to me, it seemed like at one point George was trying to get his life together, but I don't know if he was just dependent on Sarah, maybe financially. Like I said, she wasn't working, he wasn't working. She was just depending on child support from it was either child support or alimony from Brian, and that was in the amount of $1,000. And this was in February, so we weren't getting like stimulus checks and all of that. So she wasn't receiving that. She did not have any Social Security benefits or anything like that. She did own a car, a 2011 Kia Sorento or whatever. So she was depending on Brian to support her alcohol habit and, those monthly payments so that she could pay her rent. She did get served with eviction papers while she was in jail. Her rent was, if I read correctly, $1,300. So I'm not sure how they were surviving because if you're only getting $1,000, your rent's $1,300. You factor in all of the other things that you need to survive, just your basics. I really don't know what they were doing for money. I don't. Um, so that's just crazy. Somehow they were able to afford at least the rent and be able to drink. And like I said, for the most part, it seems like George was completing his courses and trying to do the best that he could with that. And some way, somehow, he just got lured back into the situation time and time again. It could have been, a scenario where he didn't have anywhere else to go, and maybe his mother just didn't allow him, to come back home. I don't know. This is the grown man we're talking about. So maybe she, wasn't, for that. You want to come back home, but you don't have a job. You don't have anything to contribute. You have a lot of households like that. There's no way you're going to be in your 40s. Now, it's one thing if you just fall on hard times, but, it's the same old behaviors or whatever. So why should I just allow you to come back home? You're not helping me with anything. Like, you love your children, but, come on. So it could have been one of those situations where he wasn't allowed to go back home and he really didn't have anywhere else to go, and so he stayed with Sarah. I don't know. She could have been manipulating him to stay. Who knows at this point? I don't think we'll ever know. But yeah, so that's just that on that. I hope y'all enjoyed the live. I hope that I was able to clear up some things about these lawyers. So remember, y'all, it was 9 lawyers, not 8. Not that that it makes too much of a difference, but it was 9. The new lawyer is Patricia Cashman. She is a private attorney who is volunteering her services, meaning she is working pro bono. The status hearing is April the 12th. And that's that on that. So I hope to see y'all on Saturday night. We're gonna go live again about 8:30ish. We probably could do a live on Saturday and on Sunday because I'm off this whole weekend. So maybe we'll double up. We'll do one Saturday and Sunday or whatever. And that's that on that. So like I always like to tell y'all, y'all be easy. All right. Peace.